Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to a little bit of a different program this time. As you can see, I'm JJ. You already know who this clown is. We'll get to him in a minute. You might be wondering, where's Jacob? Unfortunately, he couldn't make it, so this J&J product is now a Cotta Media product. So, if that is the case for the good old Cotta Media, you know what? F it. Like, that intro sucks. We're moving on. That intro is completely outdated. Moving on. Okay. So we got ourselves.
That's gold.
Yeah. One thing that you guys should know about me and Robbie is we're both college football fanatics. And fanatics is not an understatement. We live, breathe, and eat college football and NFL football. Unfortunately, there's really no NFL to talk about as of late. So you're stuck with us talking college football. If you like what you're watching, feel free to hit that like button, comment down below what you guys think, and use the chat to make fun of all me and Robbie's bozo picks that you could eventually clip us with later on when he said JMU was going to win the Sun Belt. They weren't even bowl eligible.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. I didn't realize they were not bowl eligible, but that pick still – listen, I said they were going to be good, but I'm like, they're not bowl eligible?
I know. That's not very good on their part. But then again, they did lose to Appalachian State. They did. You have these guys coming to college game day is coming to your school, and you lost to Appalachian State.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Anyway, without further ado, today's segment is sponsored by J&J Game Day. For the final time, we'd like to welcome back our college champion, the one and only Robbie RBasel. Welcome back.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
You've said the same thing three times now.
I mean, what else can I say? It's
good point.
I mean, I've been here how many times now?
This is like your fourth time.
Too many.
Oh, and I'm just going to let you know something right now. For the next official, because unfortunately, the only chance of a J&J episode is either tomorrow or Saturday, and I don't see any of those dates happening, so there might not be one this week. There will be some sort of Christmas special. Hell, I'll bring out my – you know what? Fuck it. Give me 1 second.
Hold on, JJ. While JJ is getting his Santa hat or whatever he's getting, comment below. What do you think is your bold pick out of all of the bowl games? Because why not? Or comment something totally random. I don't know.
Just be active. Don't sit in the chat like a loser.
Yeah.
Be active. All right. Here we go.
There we go.
The Santa hat is officially on, boys. All right. So I know you can't see the puffball. I got to roll this hat up. I'm an absolute mess, just like college football's been this year. Yeah, doesn't really work with the headset.
Yeah.
You know what? We're banning the Santa hat. I'm sorry. I can't do it. It's hard with the headset on. All right, now I don't look like I'm from a knockoff Christmas movie. Let's move on. All right, our first bowl game of the day, sponsored by Capital One Bowl Bonanza. We have the Ohio Bobcats taking on the Georgia Southern Eagles. I know it says I already picked Ohio. That's because I already auto-saved a few of these picks. So I'm just going to go ahead and create another entry. All right, here we go. Leading off, the Ohio Bobcats taking on the Georgia Southern Eagles. What are we thinking for this one?
It's an interesting one. Ohio does have a couple of big players now in the transfer portal. So I think this game is going to be closer than a lot of people expect. I am going to take the Bobcats, but it's going to be, I think, by 5 or less. It's going to be a close game throughout. It's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be a fun way to start off Bowl Mania. I'm going to go with the Bobcats.
Absolutely. I'm going with the Bobcats, baby. I am as well. All right. The Cricket Celebration Bowl between the Rattlers of Florida A&M and the Bison of Howard. What are we thinking for this one?
I mean, Florida A&M, very solid team, very all-around built squad. 11-1, very respectable record. I don't see this. I don't see a scenario where the Rattlers don't win it. So give me Florida A&M.
I agree, and I think they win big. Moving on to the R+L Carriers New Orleans Bowl. What the fuck are these names? Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns of Louisiana against the Gamecocks of Jacksonville State. I'm liking this game. I like this one a lot.
I don't know. I mean, remember a couple of years ago, it feels like now, the Raging Cajuns used to be a very solid team that was always towards the top of their conference. But Jacksonville State, it's aiming to finish its debut FBS season with a 9-win season. I'm going with the Gamecocks. I'm going Jacksonville State. They're going to run the ball down the Raging Cajuns. I'm going to say a big running day for the Gamecocks.
I'm not going to disagree. Give me the Gamecocks. All right.
Now, this one I think is the first dilemma because I feel like could be the first dilemma.
We've got the avocados from Mexico. Cure Bowl. What are these sponsors? Jesus Christ.
Listen, it gets more fun. Get ready.
Oh, it definitely does. All right, so we got the Appalachian State Mountaineers, a.k.a. Mr. Upset University, a.k.a. we went into James Madison on College Game Day, had the nation against us, and beat them in overtime. And spoiled dumbass Robbie Basil's pick.
Now, not fun.
And then you've got...
I got my notes here. Of course, I had to get notes. You have to be prepared for it.
Didn't Miami of Ohio win the MAC, if I remember correctly?
They did, and with a backup, I think a backup or a third-string quarterback as well.
Yeah, and we all took Toledo.
Yeah.
We're idiots.
Yeah, led by Avion Smith, I think is his name. But App State, I don't know, man. They have a flawed defense. Not gonna lie, they have I think it's gonna be App State. I think a close one, but I think I'm going to go with App State. I don't know. It's a tough one.
It is a tough one, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Red Hawks of Miami of Ohio. Coming off a big MAC championship win with their backup quarterback, I think they take out the Mountaineers. So coming up next, we've got the Isleta, New Mexico Bowl between Fresno State, my original pick to win the Mountain West. God, did they win the Mountain West?
No.
Oh, Boise State. Wait, no, I did take Boise State. I know it wasn't crazy.
Oh, yeah, because we both did it in this. We literally started with that in the original video that I was on. And we both took Boise State because that's literally the only team I thought that would be good.
Boise State against somehow, some way, the 10-4 New Mexico State Aggies. That just makes me want to laugh my ass off. 10-4? Are you kidding me? They beat Auburn by 30 in Auburn.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, New Mexico State's defense has been pretty solid all year. They do allow a lot of yards, but I don't remember them allowing a lot of points.
Yeah,
I could be wrong on
defense. That. Yeah, they got a pretty good defense. I'm
going to go with the Aggies.
I got to take a look and see, the teams that obviously, New Mexico State has played against. All right, so looking at their games this year, they gave up 21 to Western Illinois. That's
really?
41 to UMass. They lost by 16 to Liberty. They beat New Mexico by 10. Gave up 20 to Hawaii and lost, but then they just went on a tear. 17 to FIU, 13 to Sam Houston, 7 to UTEP, 24 for Louisiana Tech, 7 for Middle Tennessee State, 29 to West Kentucky, 10 to Auburn, and 17 to Jacksonville State, who they somehow, some way beat, but then lost to Liberty as expected.
Yeah.
So their defense has been kind of hit or miss. They were really good in conference play. But that being said, it's hard to bet against the Mountain West, especially going up against
Yeah.
I got to go with the Bulldogs.
Fair enough. I like the idea.
The Starco Brandt LA Bowl. Curse you for taking away the Jimmy Kimmel Bowl.
Boise State, I really would compare them to Miami of Ohio. I mean, they lost their starting quarterback. They went out and won the Mountain West. They did lose a player to a transfer, but it's one I think is going to be another one of those good old one-score games. I have a feeling UCLA would really benefit this game because this game's in LA.
Chip Kelly's on his way out, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure. But I'm going to say the Bruins by 3.
Okay.
I think it's just going to be a one-score game throughout. No one's going to go get that big of a lead. I think this one's going to be tight, and I think UCLA is going to, with their quality from the Pac-12, I think they're going to squeak this one out.
It's definitely going to be a good game. I think that Boise State is, again, they won the Mountain West. They're a very solid offense. Their backup quarterback actually played really well. He had 3 touchdowns against Who was in the Mountain West Championship? Fresno State. I know
I'm
he
not
played
100%
really
sure.
well.
Not sure.
I have to go back and take a look. But Boise State, they were one of my favorite teams to watch this year. I had an absolute blast watching the Broncos this year. They did start off the season in heartbreaking fashion that loss to UCF, but they just went off from there. They did take a few bumps along the way, but they ended the season strong, beating New Mexico, beating Utah State, crushing Boise State, and it was UNLV in the Mount West chip. But yeah, Taylor Green came in as their backup quarterback and threw 226, 2 touchdowns, 12 for 15. I do think that what needs to be taken into consideration is UCLA's defense. They are a Pac-12 team, but out of all the Pac-12 teams, in my opinion, they might have the best defense out of all of them. When you take a look at them deeper, because you go through their schedule, 10 points to San Diego State, 13 to Coastal, 7 to North Carolina Central, who cares, 14 to Utah. They lost that game, by the way. They scored 7. 17 to Wazoo, 36 to Oregon State. I believe that was the most points they gave up all year. 7 to Stanford, 16 to Colorado, 27 to Arizona, 17 to Arizona State. That was a bad loss. 20 to USC, and 33 to California. So again, their defense has played really well, but I think that Broncos offense is too high powered. I'm going Boise State. All right. Oh my goodness. The Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl. What are these names?
I don't know.
It gets better, doesn't it?
Yes, I think.
Oh, Jacob just texted me and he said UCLA win. Oh my God, the Raiders are up 28-0.
Yeah.
By God. That's bad.
I already know on my show that I would have done today, I would not have picked the Raiders to win. But I mean, they are playing. Well, they're playing the Chargers, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
So they're playing Easton Stick. Yeah, this makes sense that they're up 28-0.
Still 28-0.
Now to the game at hand. Cal is quite possibly. I was able to watch a little bit of Cal football this year. Their offense is so inconsistent.
But their defense is also so inconsistent.
I also think they just lost their offensive coordinator, if I have my notes right. Yeah, Jake Spavital. I think that's how you say Spavital. I don't know. He left for Baylor.
They added the North Texas quarterback, but they did lose Sam Jackson. Chandler Rogers, I'm pretty sure, will be starting for the Golden Bears.
I'm going Red Raiders, and I think this is going to be the first, I'm going to say this one's going to be by 10+. I'm going to go Red Raiders in this one. The inconsistent offense continues to be an inconsistent offense.
But then you got to take a look at, but I'm actually going to, because you mentioned California's offense, and I'm looking at Texas Tech's offense. They're also incredible.
They're also inconsistent, right? But the key part is down the stretch. I think their defense has been pretty decent, excluding one game.
It was K-State.
Texas.
It was K-State. Oh, yeah, I forgot about Texas. But then there was the K-State game, and they loved 38 at home. That's not really that good.
That one's pretty bad, but it is K-State's.
I'm rolling with the Red Raiders by a field goal.
Ooh, interesting. Field goal.
Yeah, give it to me. By Red Raiders by a field goal. Moving on is, oh my God.
You literally, how did you not have these reactions when you made the graphics?
I did have this reaction. The famous Toastery Bowl. Jesus Christ. How childish are we? Good Lord. All right. Old Dominion and WKU.
Old Dominion, I just think is going to be one of those moments that they're just glad to be here. I mean, I don't know what to say. They're an interesting bunch, but yeah, no, Old Dominion's going to get outclassed. Give me the Hilltoppers. 14+.
Yeah, it's difficult when you take a look at that team. ODU has been solid this year. I hit their win prediction with 6 because again they are a mediocre football team. I will be straightforward when I say that. I am basically an analyst. I am doing my job. If a team is mediocre, I will call them out and say they are mediocre. They did have some really close games, though. That Wake Forest game was tough. That Marshall game was tough. The Southern Mississippi game, App State, James. God damn, they basically had all their games were by one score, except for the Liberty-Bibberty game where they just got bitch slapped. I feel like the Monarchs are definitely one of the more underrated teams. But then I go back to the Sun Belt, and you've got the Hilltoppers. The Hilltoppers are.
They score. Their offense is actually really solid. From what I have.
Oh wait, hang on. They're not in the Sun Belt. What am I saying?
No, they're in the Conference USA, right? Is that right?
They're not there either. Oh yeah, they are in Conference USA.
They score a lot.
They do
score a lot.
But they also
points per game.
They also give up a lot.
That's the difference.
And I think Old Dominion's defense is too good. I'm going with the Monarchs.
Really?
Yeah, moving on to the Scooter. Oh, my God. The Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl. Between two teams that last year gave us all fucking heart attacks. You had the Thundering Herd of Marshall, who somehow, someway went into South Bend and beat my Fighting Irish. But that was Drew Pine, Tyler Buckner game at quarterback. And Jack Cohn was hot garbage. Oh, my goodness. He was disgusting. Wait, no, not Jack Cohn. What the hell am I saying? Buckner. Buckner was a quarterback. It wasn't Cohn. Jack Cohn was 2 years ago. That was the year we lost Oklahoma State. In another New Year's Six game. And then you have UTSA. I'm pretty sure, was it last year or 2 years ago? They were like 10-1.
Not sure.
Correctly. It was, I'm almost positive. Yeah, last year they were 11-3. They were unbelievable. And then you have Marshall going, 9-4. So these teams were really good last year. Kind of on the mediocre slide this year. I take a look at UTSA. They lost to Army. Enough said. Give me the Thundering Herd in the upset.
The problem here, Marshall has, let me just make sure of this, because Marshall, I don't believe scores that much.
Oh my God. He just said, co-host Jacob says, Tech winning. Give me ND Daddy Marshall. Fuck you. You're fired.
So if we take a look at some of their games, I'm trying to remember this right. They've scrapped together a couple of big wins, but against some of these tougher opponents, you're talking your James Madisons, your App States. I mean, they got shut out by South Alabama. How many wins does South Alabama have?
Well, I thought USA was going to go 10-2. They definitely did not go 10-2. When they beat, I predicted that. I'm just going to say this right now. I predicted them to beat Oklahoma State.
Interesting.
And they did in convincing fashion. And I thought it was all up for there, but then they lost to Central Michigan, and that's what killed their season.
But then if you look at UTSA,
they've had an interesting run this year.
They are a very interesting one. They allowed 37 to Army. What do we think about that?
Not good. But F Navy, go Army, beat Navy. And that's exactly what they did. I just had to get that on my system because I am too pro-biased for Army.
So, really, they've played in a lot of competitive games. Their only blowout, they got blown out by Tennessee. That makes sense. But UTSA, scores, especially recently. Look at their last couple of games. 41, 37, 34, 49. They had 16, but they were playing away to Tulane. That's a tough matchup. I'm going to go with the Roadrunners. Get a little bit different here. Get a little bit interesting.
Right. Another disagreement.
Listen.
That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for.
Exactly.
Disagreements. Yes. All right. Moving on. We're actually flying by. We're already at the Boca Raton Bowl, and it's only been 20 minutes.
Gotta love it.
Oh, by the way, working at that website. Oh, by the way, I'm just going to let this out right now. It's not Notre Dame's bowl yet, but I'll get to this in a minute. Shout out to the fellas over at Fansided. Working at Slap the Sign is an absolute blast. I have so much fun doing it. And I'm going to be posting an Audric Estime article either tonight or tomorrow night because he sadly declared for the draft. It sucks. I wanted to see him for another year, but that kid's going to make noise in the NFL. All right, we have a battle of probably one of my future colleges against a team that just sucks. Syracuse and USF in the – okay, this might be my favorite. Roofclaim.com Boca Raton Bowl in Boca Raton, Florida. So basically, South Florida has home field advantage.
Yep.
What do we got, Rob?
The Syracuse Orange, for me, when I've watched a little bit of them and taken some notes, they struggle against quarterbacks who can actually move. And USF, if I remember correctly, just got to remember I'm thinking of the right year here, does have a very mobile quarterback. If I remember. This is the one thing I didn't think
USF's quarterback is lethal.
Yeah. He's going to run for who's this dude? Byron Brown. I love him already. This dude just looks like a menace to society. Give me I'm going to say he's going to have a field day because Syracuse really does struggle against mobile quarterbacks. I'm going to say the Bulls put up 30+ and beat the Orange by 10.
I'm going to double down on that. Give me the Bulls by 20.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, I might have a new favorite already. The Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl. I remember when Notre Dame played in the Gasparilla Bowl against South Carolina.
Gasparilla Bowl?
Against South Carolina.
How bad were you?
It was, oh my God, I'm trying to think. It was against South Carolina. I'm not sure if it was the Gator Bowl or the Gasparilla Bowl or they put the two together. Let me think. Was it the Gasparilla Bowl? I think it was the Gasparilla Bowl. It was, oh my God. Or no, it wasn't. It was the Gator Bowl. That's what it was when we played South Carolina. Yeah, we were that bad. It was actually one of the more entertaining bowl games of the year. I'll be honest.
Really? Interesting. What's your pick for this one? You'll start us off.
I got to go with, you know what? They've been a very strange team, but I'm going with Georgia Tech.
Interesting. I mean, I know Georgia Tech can't stop anyone in the red zone. They're ranked 115th in red zone defense. But I do know that Georgia Tech, I don't think there's going to be a lot of defense in this one. I think both offenses are going to look pretty solid. I'm going to agree with you on this one. I'm also going to take the Yellow Jackets.
Smart pick. I like that. All right, next up, the Camellia. What the fuck is a Camellia? That's a strange bowl in my opinion. But Northern Illinois against the Red Wolves of Arkansas State. You can go first with this one. I got no answers.
I mean, this one's a coin flip for me. I know both these teams are going to be at very similar levels. This one for me actually took pretty long to predict because I just couldn't make a decision. I did a coin flip essentially, and I landed on Northern Illinois. So give me Northern Illinois by 3.
The man actually did a coin flip.
I did. No, this is like I literally didn't know what to say for this. So I'm like, coin flip? This is like the most even game possible. So give me roll Huskies, I guess.
I'm going to go roll Red Wolves.
Fair enough. What's next?
What's next?
I think I know what's next. Yes. Oh.
The 76 Birmingham Bowl.
76. Huh. We're going with 76. All right. Duke. Are they even going to have Riley Leonard for this?
Nope. He's here with us.
Yeah, have fun with him. You're going to ruin him like you did with Sam Hartman. Give me Troy.
Not ruin him.
Sam Hartman was not very good.
Sam Hartman, at the end of the day, did also have to play some teams where he had a lot of demons against.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm going to go with the Trojans. Go with the safe pick here. Duke, they don't stop the run. I think Troy's going to run all over them. Led by Kimani Vidal. he's gonna have a big day.
I forgot about Kamani Vidal.
I had a feeling.
Listen, I knew his name from my college football revamped when I did a rebuild of the Troy Trojans. I won back-to-back national championships. It only took me 3 years. I won back-to-back 90s. I'm also going with the Troy Trojans.
Love it.
Oh, boy. All right, here we go. The Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl, ironically featuring Air Force.
This one, another one that took me a little bit to predict, because Air Force, usually in games like this for me, I mean, we first have to talk about this. I mean, I predicted James Madison to win this, to win the Sun Belt this year. But what a story they've been. 11-1. I mean, they could be in probably most of the mid-major conference title games.
They've had many goddamn lawsuits. They want to take like serious legal action with this, and I don't blame them.
I can't blame them either. I mean, how could you not reward a team going 11-1? But
it's 35-0, by the way. Raiders scored again.
The problem with JMU, I think their coach and their starting quarterback apparently have left, but their defense, I think, is underrated because I don't think it gets enough love. So give me the Dukes in a low-scoring affair.
I think JMU is overrated, but I also think Air Force is overrated. Air Force
overrated. They're 8-4.
They started off 8-0 and then lost out. I've said enough. I'm going with the Dukes of James Madison.
What is this schedule?
What are you talking about?
No, I'm looking at Air Force's schedule. Not
what a weird team. Year?
No, for this season, because I want to know who they lost to. They lost to Hawaii, which is, by the way, probably a very fun away day. I gotta give them that. Man, they lost to Hawaii. Yikes. What's next? Potato Bowl. Personally, one of my favorites.
I can see why.
So, listen, Utah State defense kind of sus, but the Potato Bowl is going to be interesting because Georgia State allows a lot of points too. This is going to be towards the upper echelon of high-scoring affairs during Bowl Mania.
I'm excited for this game. I'm going to be honest.
I'm going to say Utah State puts up more than 40 and beats Georgia State.
I'm going to go with Utah State. No reason why. I don't care who wins this game. The 68 venture. Okay, we're just running out of ideas at this point.
What's with the numbers?
I don't know.
Numbers game.
Stupid. What is this nonsense? Ridiculous. By the way, Chargers, if you're listening to me, please do not fire Staley. I'm enjoying the shit out of this. I'm loving it. But honestly, who's going to win this game? I'm going to go with South Alabama. They disappointed me big time, but I think this is going to be the game where they just blow Eastern Michigan out the water.
I agree. I mean, Eastern Michigan's quarterback actually just hit the transfer portal.
Did you actually do research on all these games?
Of course I did.
You're a professional.
Thank you. I literally went up to Bleacher, found Bleacher Report and stuff. I'm like, what can I find on some of these games? And there you go. Shout out to Bleacher Report for no reason at all. Sponsor me.
I wish I get a Bleacher Report sponsor. I love Bleacher. Yo, the report when they actually reported about bleachers was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. They said Bleacher Report finally reported about bleachers.
Wait, they did?
Yes.
What was this?
I gotta find it now. I have to find it now.
Pull it up on screen. Pull it up on screen.
I will.
The problem was I only did prep for some of these, so I don't have all notes for every game. So, down the stretch, some of these random games, you're not gonna hear me talk very much. But
hang on, I gotta find it on Twitter or something. There's a TikTok about it. Am I allowed to show TikTok without getting copyright?
Listen, we're gonna get demonetized, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, who cares? All right, this is it. I
Roll the
find this
clip.
hilarious. Gladly. Bleacher Report reported on a bleacher. Quite literally reported about a bleacher.
That's miraculous.
That is hysterical. That's hysterical. All right, but yeah, we're all going USA. All right, the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl. Whoever put Northwestern in Las Vegas should be sentenced to life for treason. Good Lord,
Why?
This is bad. Utah by 1 million.
I agree. I like the Utes. Man, I wish the what's their quarterback's name again? Is it Rising?
Yeah, Cam Rising for Utah.
How old is he?
That man's been in college football for a lot longer than your average cup of coffee, if you catch my drift.
I'm also going with the Utes.
How could you not?
Their squad is, I mean, you're playing a team out of the Big Ten West? Is Northwestern?
Yeah, the Big Ten West does not deserve any sort of legitimate bowl games for legitimately boring us all to death with their god-awful offense. So Utes by
What's an
1 million.
offense?
Exactly. You're a Jets fan. You have no idea. Easy post
Listen, we put
Hawaii.
up 30 against the Texans. Relax.
I don't know how. You worked some voodoo magic. MetLife Stadium style. San Jose State versus Coastal Carolina. Another goddamn chicken team. Why are there so many chickens in college football? I don't like that.
We're going to Hawaii for this one.
Yeah.
This is one of those ones that I didn't have notes on. But
I'll tell you what, if I'm a college football player and I could choose any bowl game that's not near 6, I would choose to play in this one because I want to go to freaking Hawaii.
Why not want to? Who wouldn't want to go to Hawaii for this? I'm gonna go with. I don't know. Who are you going with?
Coastal Carolina. Next.
All right, let's do it next.
The Quick Lane Bowl between Minnesota, one of the most disappointing teams in the country. How are they bowl eligible 5-7?
I think it's one of those where they just had too many bowl games and they just had to fill in with teams.
So JMU got in.
So,
Alrighty. That's all right. Bowling Green and Minnesota. You can take this one.
Bowling Green, I know, was like in it for like a half against Michigan. And Minnesota felt like they were in a half against Michigan. Put it together, what do you got?
A shit show of a bowl game.
A terrible bowl game where Bowling Green's going to find a way to like win because Minnesota's going to continue their disappointment.
All right, the Serve Pro First Responder Bowl. God, there's a lot of bowl games.
It's 40.
Why did I agree to this?
It's your stream.
That's true. I did agree to this.
It was your idea.
Rice and Texas State. We've only been on for 33 minutes, so we're making incredible time.
Listen, I've been here long enough where we don't have to have a stream for 2 hours.
Rice and Texas State. Let make a pick.
I mean, Texas State, not a bad bunch. Rice, I'm going with Texas State.
I'm going with Texas State as well. All right, this one's got me excited. The guaranteed rate poll between runner-ups of the Mountain West, UNLV, and the Kansas Jayhawks.
Is Kansas's quarterback playing?
I was just about to ask you if Jaden Daniels is playing or not, or whatever the hell his name is. I don't know the Kansas quarterback's name. Jalen Daniels, not Jaden Daniels.
Jalen Daniels, yeah.
He will not be playing.
I don't know. You go first. I'm trying to post something real quick.
I gotta go Kansas, man. It's hard to bet against them against a team like UNLV. Like, good Lord.
Yeah. I mean, Kansas, they're an interesting bunch. I'm interested to see how they look without Daniels, though. I'm really interested to see how they look without Daniels. I'm going to say the Jayhawks, but it's going to be closer than people expect. I'm going to say 10 or less. I don't know if UNLV will really, like, this is how I'll put it. There's those games where you, like, the score is close, but you don't feel like that team is in the game. That's how this game is going to feel like for me. I'm going to go with the Jayhawks.
All righty. Good pick. Moving on. The Military Bowl. Tulane by 1 million, and we're moving on.
Yeah. I mean, the Hokies, the ACC, I think is notoriously terrible this year, other than Florida State. maybe Clemson. I don't know. Yeah, and Louisville. Can't forget about Louisville. I'm gonna go with the Green Wave. This is not gonna be close.
Oh, it's gonna be a murder. Next up, the Will Levis Bowl, the Duke's Mayo Bowl, the Will Levis Bowl.
This should be fun. Listen, I'm intrigued by this matchup a little bit. I mean, both teams 8-4.
North Carolina, they fell off a cliff.
They did.
Oh my!
You hate to see it.
They were awful this year, but they're not. Drake May not losing to West Virginia.
Yeah. I mean, Drake May trying to improve his draft stock. Is he playing in this?
I would think so. I mean, I'm not sure why he wouldn't be playing in it.
I mean, to not get hurt before the draft, obviously. I mean, that's be the only reason I think he would miss it. But if Drake May is playing, Drake May, top 2 quarterback.
All right, he has declared for the draft. I believe that means he's not playing.
He is not playing. So I was
originally now it gets harder. I
was originally going to say North Carolina by 27. But now I'm only going to say North Carolina by 1 score. West Virginia? I don't know about them, man, but it's those Big 12 teams that they just have the narrative that they can't defend. I think this
no. That's Pac-12.
It used to be like that.
So you're saying
allow like 30 plus.
So you're saying now it's Big 12 because the Pac-12.
Now it's the Pac-12. Oh, 100%.
No, it's not the Pac-12. The Pac-12 is dead. Rest in peace to the Pac-12.
Oh yeah. The narratives die out just like the Pac-12 did.
Back to the Big 12, just like Colorado.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with North Carolina. I thought you said Pac-12. My fault. Next, speaking of the ACC, we get the Louisville Cardinals, who I think are gonna win. Who are gonna win in a somehow low-scoring affair for Lincoln Riley?
I have a question. Can both teams lose? I don't like either team. I don't like either team.
You see, using that logic, we should use the NFL rules for overtime and just give this game like a 6-6 tie and move on.
You know what? I agree with that because F USC and F Louisville for kicking us out of the college football playoff.
Listen, Louisville, they looked really bad against Florida State.
Oh my God, it's atrocious.
But the thing that could possibly give USC a chance.
Caleb Williams is not playing, so you're most likely going to see.
My thing is, though, do you know where the game is? Isn't this game in California?
Doesn't matter. USC can't stop anybody. Cardinals.
It's a cross-country game. But yeah, I agree. I was just giving you a possible narrative. But I'm going with it.
I don't need narratives. Condom University does not deserve any narratives. All right, the Tax Act Texas Bowl between Oklahoma State and A&M. All right. Oak State put up a fight against Texas.
They did.
For a half.
They did. Didn't A&M throw up a fight against some decent teams?
LSU.
They
LSU
did.
And Alabama, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that's right. It's always tough for me to pick against the SEC teams. And I'm going to do it here. I'm going to take Oklahoma State.
These Big 12 teams are tough. But I don't know, man. You know what? I'm going to go with Texas A&M.
I like it. Fair enough.
The Wasabi Fenway Bowl. BC SMU. BC has the most blatant home field advantage yet.
It's going to be SMU anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
SMU.
All right. The New York Bowl. The Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl at Yankee Stadium of the teams that cannot score in the red zone. The Miami Hurricanes and the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. I asked my dad if he'd be interested in going to this game because he is a Miami Hurricanes fan. And he said, fuck no, I don't go to games like that anymore. I'd rather sit in the warmth of my living room on my couch watching the game. Those were his exact words.
That is unfortunate. I know Rutgers has been competitive in a couple of bigger games.
The Ohio State game, I was in person for that. Ohio State almost lost.
Yep.
But Rutgers threw a costly pick six at the start of the second half. Although it probably shouldn't have been a pick six. And
Miami is also they've had a couple of interesting games this season.
Like the let's see, I don't know, the Georgia Tech one.
Yep. I was waiting for you to talk about that. So I'm going to go with the team that who would I think would collapse less? Who do I think would not have an inevitable collapse?
42-0 Raiders.
Beautiful.
We love to see this.
Chargers chat, I'll say this. The Chargers should have signed Joe Flacco. Make that the narrative.
Jets legend Joe Flacco, that is.
Listen, he won us a game and then lost us a couple of them as well.
Joe Flacco, man. Hey, I got a feel for Joe Flacco. I love this.
You got to remember this. You got to remember this. You got to go back to last year. I remember this. We were playing the Browns. And if you're a Jets fan, you know what happens here. We score. We get an onside kick, and then we scored again.
I remember.
By the Joe Flacco.
That was a legendary Jet game. I thought you guys lost that game. It was 30-17. I turned the game off. I should have scored. I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
I didn't know what was going on. I was literally watching it in a common room in my dorm building. I didn't know what was going on.
I assume you were jumping for joy when it happened.
Sorta. I was trying to not get the noise violation or whatever. Because I had 3 other people with me. But give me the Rutgers Scarlet Knights in this one. I'm just going to rock with the low-scoring Big Ten teams.
I agree. Give me Rutgers. I think Monange is going to have a big game. I don't think Wimsat's doing anything. That guy sucks. But I think Monange is gonna run all over that joke of a Hurricane defense. Moving on. Get these teams some Pop-Tarts.
The Mean Bulls are actually kind of good.
How is this not a New Year's Six game?
It's called we need a meme name with some good teams to make the narrative.
Pop-Tart. That might be one of my favorite things ever. Is that video about the Pop-Tart. Why is it Pop-Tart? Is my question. Why Pop-Tart?
Now, in saying that, we have a very interesting narrative. We have I don't know about K-State. They're an interesting bunch. But I'm going to go with the Big 12 teams here. I have a feeling about the Big 12 this year, especially during these bowl games. I'm going to take the Wildcats.
I'm going to go with Will Howard and Kansas State.
Love it.
Moving on to the Valero Alamo Bowl. Why is this not a New Year's Six game either?
This game always has had some good ranked teams together. But listen, Arizona, I was wrong about them this year. They're one of the teams that really proved me wrong.
I wasn't. I said these guys were going to go 8-4, 9-3. They went 9-3. I'm going Wildcats by 1,000,000. They're the best 3-loss team in all of college football. Yes, I said it. They're better than Notre Dame this year. Sue me, Irish fans. Sue me, slap the sign. They would beat us by 2 scores.
Oklahoma's interesting because they went out and beat a team in the college football playoff, yet somehow have 2 losses.
I don't know how they lost to Texas. I don't know how they beat Texas.
I don't know either. The Red River Showdown, the Red River Rivalry, whatever it is.
Anybody could win that game. Texas beat them 49-0 for Christ's sake. And Oklahoma still finished with a better record than that.
I am riding as well with the Wildcats for this one.
Cats. All right, moving on. The Tax Slayer Gator Bowl, where the Irish played last year. We have to watch Devin Leary and the Kentucky Wildcats or Cade Klubnik and the Clemson Tigers, and I hate this game.
I'm not a fan of this one either. I'm going to go with the Clemson Tigers. I'm going to go with Klubnik showing kind of one of those games where he's going to show off what he can do in the future, just to give a little bit of a tease to what he can do next year. I'm going to say Clemson big. I'm going to say Clemson let's go by 17.
You know what I'm going to say, right?
You're going to say Kentucky. You already know it.
Not so fast, my friend.
Yeah.
Kentucky Wildcats.
Really?
Upset. All right, here we go. The Tony the Tiger Sun Belt Bowl. The Sun Bowl. Not even the Sun Belt Bowl. Sun Bowl.
You're playing a Mean Bulls. Well, how have you done this year, Notre Dame, when you're playing in the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl?
Well, we are playing against a formidable opponent.
Which is weird, because you think for these meme games, these teams wouldn't be good. And you'd be wrong. I don't know.
College football is officially off the goddamn rails. College football is off the rails. Simple as that. I'm very excited for this game. As I wrote, and I'm not pulling it up. Screw it. You guys don't need to see my work. You can look it up on the website. You go do it yourself. I'm not showing you. I'm not giving you spoilers of my work. Steve Angeli will be the quarterback in this game, and I'm very excited to see how he's going to do. That might be why I watch this game, because if he plays well enough, he might start over Riley Leonard. I'm dead serious. Riley Leonard, and I said this in my article, is not the consensus QB1 if Angeli plays well enough. I'm dead serious. If Angeli is this good, they will start Angeli, no matter how good Leonard is. If Angeli's better, they're going to play Angeli. I'm also excited to see how Brian Payne and Jeremiah Love do in the absence of Audric Estime. And then we've got the junior corner, Benjamin Morrison, who, mark my words, that guy's going in the top 5 when he declares for the draft. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going with the Fighting Irish.
I'm interested to see how the Beavers look without Uyangale. I think I said that right. Uyangale? Whatever.
Uyangale.
Close enough.
It's
harder. It's harder to say than Tagovailoa. It is.
1,000%. Tagovailoa is easy compared to that.
I remember when one. I remember when Goodell said it as Tagovailoa. That was kind of funny, but
that was very funny.
Uyagale is out along with a star right tackle and a receiver.
Not to mention their head coach is also out.
And one of their better running backs. I'm going to go with the Fighting Irish. I think a low-scoring one.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Fighting Irish let's go by 13. 23-10. Let's go 23-10.
Notre Dame by 17. 31-14.
Interesting.
Auto get in the zone. Auto zone. The Liberty Bowl between Iowa State and Memphis. I'm going with Memphis, and I'm moving on to the next pick.
I agree. I like the Memphis Tigers in this one. They're a 9-win team for a reason.
All right, here we go. Our first game we're going to skip.
Yep.
We're skipping that
Skip
as well.
it next.
Here we go. The Trans-Perfect Music City Bowl between Maryland and Auburn. These teams suck.
Speaking of Tagovailoa, we get one of the Tagovailoas in this game.
Tualia Tagovailoa.
Is that how you say it?
Tualia, I believe.
Talia or Tualia?
Doesn't matter.
Tagovailoa.
We're playing a trash-ass Auburn team, so I'm going with the Terps.
I mean, I don't trust Auburn's defense after how they finished the game against Alabama.
That might have been one of, if not the worst losses I've ever seen.
It's like one of those. I'm never gonna forget the kick six when Chris Davis returned that, but it's like,
oh my god, oh my goodness, wow. Sorry, this is hilarious. They interviewed Brandon Staley at halftime.
Oh, beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna give you a quick lesson. Being a sideline reporter myself, because I have done it. You don't interview the coach that's losing first. Usually, unless it's like very close. 42-0. Interview Brandon Staley first. Yeah, that's bold.
All I gotta say is I don't like this. They're giving too much attention. They're going to fire him, and I'm gonna be upset. Keep Staley. This is hilarious.
I mean, I don't know what you would have expected in a game like that with Easton Stick, former North Dakota State product. I think
still 42-0 at the half is 42-0.
Let alone the Raiders, who scored 3 points. Or no,
0 points.
0. They lost. They lost. That's right.
The Vikings defense is so bad, and the Chargers defense is actually good, but they've scored 0 against the Vikes, 42 against the Chargers in the first half. Oh my god!
Comment below, and if you're in the stream chat, how many points the Raiders are gonna put up?
I'm gonna say 63-0.
I'm gonna say 59-7.
Could you imagine they get to 70?
It's possible.
All right. Well, I think we're both in agreement for Maryland.
Yeah.
Moving on. All right, that's Skip. Why is this even a thing? I gotta listen to Frank the Tank's fat ass with this game. Oh god. Side note, I'm the biggest Frank the Tank hater ever.
Well, JJ, I have some good news for you. I don't think you're going to have to watch this game very long. I'm going with the Toledo Rockets. They're going to avenge themselves. They're going to avenge their embarrassment by after losing to Miami of Ohio by beating Wyoming by like 30.
They lose to Wyoming, so help me God.
Roll Rockets.
The Reliquist Bowl, LSU, and Wisconsin. The Badgers. as much as I'm pissed. This should have been Notre Dame. I wanted LSU bad.
You wanted LSU. You were going to lose to them.
I wanted to beat the brakes off Brian Kelly.
Fair enough.
We'll play him soon. Tigers. Tigers are going to smoke these boys. Especially, is Jaden Daniels playing? Or is he
I don't know. That's why I was going to ask you.
It doesn't matter. They're going to win anyway. That team is too loaded. Moving on to the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. The last of the meme bowls. Tennessee and Iowa.
I'm intrigued.
I'll tell you who's not going to win, and that's Iowa's offense. They are not winning this game.
1,000%. I think this game is going to be very low scoring. I don't think either team scores more than 20. I really like Iowa's defense.
If Iowa's a top offense, they'd be a top 5 team in the country.
I can get behind that.
Because they'd be winning a lot of those Big Ten games.
Their offense is just so atrocious. I'd say Tennessee wins 17-3.
24-14 Tennessee.
You think Iowa puts up 14 points?
Yeah, off 2 defensive touchdowns.
Fair enough.
All right, that will do it for our edition of the Meme Bowls, that is. So, I'm very excited to get into this part. Obviously, we all know the New Year's 6 games are as important as always. So we decided, why not give them their own goddamn graphics, because this is how we do things. Let's kick it off with the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, Missouri and Ohio State.
There's too many unknowns with this one. Like, how is Ohio State going to look without McCord? Or possibly without Marvin Harrison Jr.?
I don't think Marvin's playing. I don't think
he is. I'm banking on him not playing.
I agree.
So, Missouri, they're an interesting one, you know.
Hats off. By the way, hats off to those boys. You played an incredible season.
Oh, absolutely. It's one of those teams that really do deserve to be here. You don't hear that out of me very much. But Missouri, they were really in that game against Georgia.
They should have won, bro.
They should have won against Georgia.
And they shouldn't have lost to LSU either.
But one thing they do know how to do, I don't know if you've seen
this.
Is
make Luther Burden look like a god.
You have. They score a lot. And
I love him. He's so
I
good.
am going with the Missouri Tigers based on how many unknowns there are with this Ohio State team. Because we have no idea how that offense is going to look. The Ohio State defense, we know how good they are. But I'm going to go with the Tigers.
Yeah, I got to agree with you. I think Ohio State's offense is way too – I don't know how that team's going to look when you go deeper into it. And then you've got, the Missouri Tigers, that offense, Luther Burden, Brady Cooks played well. What's their running back's name?
I don't even know.
Whatever. He's still good. Anyway, I think that this Missouri team, I think Ohio State's going to take these boys incredibly lightly. But because of that, I think Missouri's going to play like they've got a fire underneath their ass. So give me the Missouri Tigers to win the Cotton Bowl.
I love it.
How could you not love it?
How could you not love I would call them an underdog all year playing out of the SEC East. Sticking in games like Georgia, going out and putting up 39 against LSU. They lost because Jaden Daniels is a god, apparently. But this is a very solid team. A team that can really hang around with a lot of solid opponents. I'm going with the Missouri Tigers.
Yes, sir. I like that. All right, clean sweep. Next bowl game on tap, we've got the Verbo Fiesta Bowl between the Oregon Ducks and the Liberty Bibbity. Well, I lost it. Liberty Flames. Could not like this game any less. I hate this game because Oregon's going to destroy these guys. Oregon's going to kill them.
I don't know. This is going to be one of the bowl games that's a head scratcher, and I think it's going to possibly hurt Bo Nix's draft stock. I think Oregon's offense is going to look good, but I think Liberty are going to find a way to stay in this game. It's not going to be pretty, but I'm going to go with the Oregon Ducks. I think it's going to be pretty back and forth, but I think Bo Nix's experience playing in these bigger games, I think it's really going to help him out. And I'm going to go with the Oregon Ducks.
I agree. I'm also going to go with the Oregon Ducks, but I think this will be maybe a 2-score, maybe even 3-score game if it really gets that unlucky. All right. Next up, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl by Ole Miss and my second favorite team, the Penn State Nittany Lions, who I might start working for them too because they've got an opening in their website. So I might start double dipping. Because why not?
Talk about this game first because I need to pull up some numbers.
Will do. So, Penn State. Everyone talks about James Franklin this, James Franklin that. He can't win the big games. He can't beat Michigan. He can't beat Ohio State. Listen, the last time these guys had a New Year's Six game, they played a good Utah team in the Rose Bowl and crushed them. It was annihilation. But then you look at this Penn State team and you look at Ole Miss, Jackson Dart, hell of a quarterback. Drew Aller's having himself a good season. But I think the key difference is going to be the defense of Penn State. They have not given up that many points at all. They played really good against Michigan for a while, and they played extremely good against Ohio State for a while. And other than that, they really didn't play that bad defensively at all in any other game besides maybe Northwestern. But that's also because I don't know what got into Northwestern. But with that being said, give me... I said it in the opening episode, and I'm saying it again. I'm going with the boys from Happy Valley, baby. Go Nittany Lions. We are Penn State.
I'm intrigued to see how Aller looks in a game like this. I really am. Because not going to lie, I think, how do I word this? Drew Aller, I don't know about him, man. I mean, he's looked better throughout the season. He has gotten and he's improved a lot. And the problem, you brought it up very well. It's the defense for Penn State that's really going to help them out. But I don't know. I mean, I think Ole Miss's offense is going to put up points, but I think this is going to be a big game for both quarterbacks. I think they're going to be the much bigger story than the defenses. I am going to go. I don't like picking against Jackson Dart. I'm going to do it here. I'm going to say the Penn State Nittany Lions win 31-21.
I like it. Another clean
I think it's going to feel like home field advantage for Ole Miss because it is in Atlanta. But I still think Penn State. Listen, Ole Miss has beaten some great teams all year long, but you can't go wrong with picking with the Nittany Lions.
Yeah, I agree. Now, is there any other thing that needs to be mentioned? Oh, yeah. Fire James Franklin.
Really?
Do it now. Yeah. He's not the guy for Penn State. They can't win the big games, and it's all because of his coaching.
Interesting. That's one way to look at it.
Yeah.
I think it's just a lack of their defense has been able to hold it up in the big games. And I'm going to make a little bit of an interesting comparison here. I think it's kind of being a guy who watches the NFL a lot and how much like in big games quarterbacks tend to struggle. It feels like a Jets game all over again. Every time you watch this Penn State team in a big game, it's the Jets, it's some of the smaller ones. Because and the reason I'm saying this, it's very simple. When you have an offense that struggles like this, and you put them in a big game, your Ohio States, your Michigans, usually, I'm saying this usually, this doesn't end very well. And I can compare this to how Zach Wilson plays in some big games for the Jets. Has he beaten the Eagles? Yeah. Has he stayed in his best game? We just saw his best game last week. But he's struggled in some of these bigger games, especially on the road, and it's really hurt the team. Is it possible that we see that something similar out of Drew Aller? Because in the beginning of the year, let me pull up some numbers here. Because I don't remember him in some of these bigger games throwing the ball a lot, yardage-wise. Let me make sure of that. And I'm looking at one game in particular.
Yeah, I know which one you're
Michigan game.
Yes.
Threw for 70 passing yards. Now, granted, J.J. McCarthy threw for 60. But at the same time,
it was a typical Big Ten game.
Exactly. But you wanted to, in these bigger games, not limit your quarterback to only this certain amount of passing attempts. You don't want to limit your quarterback to only certain parts of your own game plan. If you open the playbook up more, you see how much better quarterbacks can be. We see that with Zach Wilson for the Jets. We see that in other teams as well in the NFL and in college football as well. So I think if they opened it up more for Aller, and I think we saw that with Michigan State when they put up 42, I think we could possibly see Penn State come out with a big win here. But you talked about the big games. I said it's going to be a 10-point win, but I don't know. I really do think this could go either way.
Yeah, I agree. I'm still rolling Penn State. Moving on to the game that everybody's telling me should be a part of the college football playoff. Boo fucking who. Enjoy your New Year's Six game, Georgia FSU.
The way that people are saying Florida State got robbed, how both of this should be a playoff game. Come on. Florida State, you can make multiple arguments why they should be in the playoff. Undefeated conference champ, Power 5 undefeated conference champ. But when you look at how they played against Louisville, a team that's like, they're a solid ranked team, but not anything special. Florida State's defense is good. We can say that. But how they look with a backup quarterback? Come on. You really thought a backup quarterback would get you into the college football playoff?
Yeah.
Take a look in the mirror. Make sure you're thinking straight here. But for
It's
this
hard.
game itself, I think this is going to be an interesting one. I am going with the Georgia Bulldogs, despite the Florida State Seminoles are going to have a little bit of a fire to them, I think, in this one. I think it's going to be a decently high-scoring game, but I'm going to say the Georgia Bulldogs by 2 scores. The experience is really going to help them out here from Kirby Smart. I think their defense is solid. They're going to avenge losing by 3 to Alabama and really hurting themselves from not making the college football playoff because they lost in the SEC title game, which sent them out of the picture entirely. So give me the Bulldogs.
Yep, Bulldogs. I don't even see FSU making this a close game. I think Georgia routs them by like 30. And I'm being generous. I'm not watching this game because I know what's gonna happen. Georgia's gonna snap the twigs with them, and they're gonna call themselves the uncrowned national champion.
Like UCF.
I know, except worse because they won it twice in a row. You think they'd stop being so goddamn greedy? All right, enough about that. Let's get on to
one sec. You have to love that it's a New Year's Six game and it's not on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. Gotta love it.
That's hilarious.
That's how irrelevant this game could possibly be. That this game was not on New Year's Eve. Next game.
Shame on the Orange Bowl. All right, now on to the good stuff. The Sugar Bowl for the college football playoff, featuring in one corner the Washington Huskies, the number 2 seed, undefeated, 13-0 against the 12-1 Texas Longhorns. Here we go. Give me your pick, Robbie. What do we got?
I love this quarterback matchup. I'm so intrigued for this.
I'm excited.
Michael Penix Jr. has proven that he can go out and win in these bigger games. Texas, I don't know. I mean, they went out. They played in the Red River Showdown. He lost to Oklahoma, but they did go out and win the Big 12 title game, and they looked good doing it.
Mention, hey, you forgot to mention, they did something that a lot of people find impossible.
How so?
They went into Tuscaloosa and beat
Bama.
Alabama. Not in Texas, in Tuscaloosa. They went to Bama and beat Bama.
Which was impressive.
A feat that hadn't been done since 2019, where the now iconic TikTok sound. That's going to wrap it up at Tuscaloosa. LSU wins 46-41. That's actually accurate. That was the last time Alabama lost in Alabama.
So, but I think, and this is going to be a narrative with a lot of these bowl games, is the home field advantage that Texas is going to have since this game is, what is it? Is this game in New Orleans? This is the one in New Orleans, right?
I believe so. so. Let me actually
Trying to remember this is New Orleans or Texas. I do not remember. But despite that, it's a game in the South. I think Texas is going to have a good fan base come out. But
yeah, Louisiana, New Orleans.
Despite them having a good Quinn Ewers being pretty solid, their whole squad being really good, I got to go with the team that can go out and win you a big game, especially against a top 10 team twice.
Robbie.
Yeah.
They're back at a halftime. 49-0 Raiders.
Atlanta could have picked up Aiden O'Connell this week for fantasy, and they didn't do it. And they're doing this without Josh Jacobs as well, which is very impressive.
This is amazing. I don't know who lockout of the week's going to be, man. Oh, by the way, letting you know something right now. The Kadarius Toney was this week's lockout week.
You gave it to Kadarius Toney?
Yes.
Fair play.
Yeah.
What? So for this game, I'm going with, like I said, going with the guys who can go out there and win you a big game. I'm going with the Huskies.
Wow. Okay.
Not just the guys who can go out and win you a big game, and I think Washington can do that.
I think, listen, those are some great points, but I think there's one flaw within the Huskies.
Really?
That defense is atrocious. They do not have a good defense whatsoever. And I think that, I don't know if it's going to be Quinn Ewers. I don't know if it's going to be specifically Xavier Worthy. But I think Texas defense is much better than Washington. You said it's in the South. Texas fans run deep. I know Washington wanted to be in the Fiesta Bowl or the Rose Bowl. I would have loved for it to be the Rose Bowl. That would have been great. And Michigan,
Rose Bowl
Alabama.
with these two? Oh, boy.
Oh, man. High scoring game,
with these two?
Oh, boy. But with all that being said, this is a very wait, what happened to the Fiesta? Oh, I forgot. It's the Verbo Fiesta Bowl now. That used to be the Totitos Fiesta Bowl, then the PlayStation. Now it's the Verbo.
Tostitos. Love it.
The old days.
They had chip brand to give out to one of the biggest college football games.
One of the best chip brands of all time. That was my dad's signature. It still is my dad's signature game day snack. He was watching the Giants. Anyway, that's off topic. This is going to be tough. I can't believe I'm saying this. In 2023, in the playoffs, hook 'em horns, give me Texas.
I mean, Quinn Ewers is an interesting quarterback, but
you can't love or hate any of these picks. Come on.
You can't. I mean, the big thing with Texas is, well, one, it's the narrative of Ewers. I mean, if he goes out and wins you a national title, a national championship, does he go to the draft? Does he stay another year and keep boosting his stock for next year? How this could affect the rest of the squad, like the quarterback room, because they have Arch Manning. It is Arch Manning, right? No, is it Arch Manning? The son? What Manning is on Texas?
What did you say is on Texas?
Isn't one of the Mannings on Texas?
Arch.
Yeah.
Arch.
I mean, what does it do for his futures if Ewers stays? There's a whole ton of narratives that can come out of this. But listen, you gotta trust it. I mean, Texas, they look good against a team like an Oklahoma State. But you go out and be a top 10 team twice? I have to pick the team that, like I said, if you want to go out and get you a guy who can win a big game, why not do one with one of the most experienced quarterbacks in the playoff and Penix? Might as well go with it.
Yeah.
A Heisman Trophy finalist, by the way, as well.
Who could forget? Moving on to, all right. Here we go. The game that everyone's been talking about. We've got the so-called cheaters of college football in one corner, and we've got the old veteran back for another one because he says he's like Vince Carter. He got another one in him. Michigan and Alabama. Basil, I'm just going to let you have the floor because I think you know what I'm about to do.
I do, and you have to look at it from both perspectives. You start with Michigan, who, yes, they went out and beat Ohio State. Yes, they went out and beat Penn State. Yes, they've done some miraculous wins without Jim Harbaugh on the sidelines. And yes, they just went out and destroyed Iowa. But my big focus is going to be on how Alabama limits J.J. McCarthy. Because the big thing with J.J. McCarthy is he doesn't throw the ball down the field very much. They really focus on the ground game. I think Alabama, with the squad they have, I feel like they can really exploit that. I mean, you have Jaden Milroe on the opposite side at quarterback for Alabama, who's also very mobile, and I think he's going to have a great game. They have a lot of talent on the Alabama offense as well. It's really hard to pick this one. I don't know. I'm going to go – listen, it's really going to come down to the defenses for me. Which quarterback is going to be limited more? And with how hard it is to limit Jaden Milroe, with how hard it is to limit Milroe, excuse me, I'm going Roll Tide.
You know I just clipped that entire thing, right?
Oh, I know. Is it Jalen Milroe or Jaden Milroe?
Jaden Milroe.
Oh, I said Jalen Milroe. Well, that's hilarious.
Wait, is it Jaden Milroe? Oh, it is Jalen Milroe. It is Jalen Milroe. You were not.
I don't even know what I said at that point.
Jalen Milroe. All right. As for my prediction, I've made it very clear that I think Michigan is rightfully the number 1 team in the country. And I think that rightfully they would have beaten Georgia. And I think rightfully they would have beaten Washington. So when I look at this team, this Michigan team is a lot different from last year's Michigan team. Like a lot different. I think that they're a better run team. I think that they definitely have, if their coaches, they're winning games without their head coach, for Christ's sake. And shout out to, what is it, Sharice Morgan's the dude's name?
I don't even know. He didn't even win a coordinator of the year.
That's outrageous.
I was laughing hysterical. Didn't they give it to the Iowa guy?
They give it to the Iowa guy.
Wait. The Iowa defense. I think it's what coordinator won it.
I hope
it could not have been the Iowa offense.
That was the offensive coordinator. So help me God.
It's a meme award if it is. If it is, meme award.
Phil, okay, yeah, defensive coordinator for Iowa. Okay, now I can understand that. They were unbelievable. But nah, when I look at this team, I see that Blake Corum is phenomenal. Donovan Edwards is solid. So there's your 2 running backs right there. J.J. McCarthy played okay against TCU, but that TCU was basically Washington of last year. I think if Washington was to play Georgia last year, they would get fucking mollywopped by them. And I also think that, again, it's one of those situations where you're playing against Alabama. You're not going to take these boys lightly. They wanted FSU, and I know they wanted FSU.
They did.
But you can't take a team like Alabama lightly. And Alabama can't take Michigan lightly. And you look at the other side. You got Saban on that side. He almost never loses. You've got Jalen Milroe, who's played really well. Isaiah Bond, who's been absolutely bananas. And that solid defense led by hopefully future Los Angeles Ram Kool-Aid McKinstry. A man can dream, so shut up. So I'm looking at this game. To the Rose Bowl. It's in California. Cross-country ride for everybody. And the only losers are the people of California, because I know California does not like Michigan, and they do not like Alabama. So the Californians are really the only losers of this game. But with that being said, go blue. Give me the Michigan Wolverines.
You're trusting them to win it. Listen, they've gotten eliminated in the semifinal how many years in a row now?
2 years in a row.
And they've lost to Georgia and TCU. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. And ironically, Georgia mollywopped TCU in a game that I hope never is played ever again.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that's really it. We have done it. All 43 bowl games, done it. It took almost under an actual J&J show episode.
Hold on, JJ. Do you want to pick our national champions, or are we saving that for another time?
You know what? Let's do it. So your national championship is Alabama.
I have Washington and Bama, and
you're the complete opposite as me.
I love it.
I hate it.
It was not intentional, chat. It was not intentional. So, you pull up a graphic for this, or national championship? Let's do it. I'll start us off. I have Milroe in Alabama taking on Michael Penix and the Washington Huskies. The guy who's a Heisman finalist this year versus a guy who I think is going to probably win the Heisman next year. This matchup would be so fun. And this is where experience is going to come in for a different reason. Nick Saban in a national title game is very hard to pick against. And
only
Washington,
one coach has beat him. Or no, two coaches have beat him.
Kirby Smart
and Dabo Swinney. Yes.
And listen, we talked about earlier the experience with Penix, how long he's been in the game. He's been able to play at Nebraska. And then he comes in.
Oh, Gans is pissed. Hang on. Sorry. Gans is pissed. He says, funny how Robbie says going to come down to defense when Michigan has the best defense in the nation.
Okay, let me respond to that.
All right.
You should join this. You should watch the stream. No, so I said it's going to come down to defense. And the reason I said that was, I mean, I think J.J. McCarthy's going to look decent. But Kyle McCord, when he played Michigan, you can argue he outplayed J.J. McCarthy for a good amount of that game. So if you're getting outplayed by an inconsistent Kyle McCord, how would you look playing against a more consistent Jalen Milroe? That's just a question to ask.
He said, let him talk. What happened with Ohio State? What happened with Penn State?
What happened with Ohio State?
What happened with Ohio State? What happened with Penn State?
It's a narrative. It's a narrative.
All right.
It's a narrative.
All right, just make your goddamn pick.
I am going with Alabama to defeat Washington. And the reason I'm saying Alabama to defeat Washington, like I said, it's experience, but Milroe's really going to, I think this is his time to shine. We saw what he could do late in a game against Auburn. He played, I think, solid in the SEC title game against the number 1 team in the nation that got them all the way down to number 5.
No,
I think Alabama wins this one and lifts the national championship.
6. They won down 6.
Right.
As I predicted.
Alabama, national champion.
This one today, I perfectly predicted the college football playoff again.
Fair play.
I'm good at this shit. All right. Now, as for my prediction for the national championship game, it was the one in the left corner, the visiting Texas Longhorns. In the red corner, the number 1 seeded Michigan Wolverines. I know you're looking at the group chat right now.
Oh, yeah, I
am. I'm too good at this. No, I can literally read people's minds. By the way,
a CM Punk rant about Michigan. Let me know if you want to see me on my podcast tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely. And send it to the group chat, like audio record the entire thing.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, not the point. So, Michigan goes into this game as the number 1 team in the country. They had just beaten Alabama, a juggernaut in the college football world. Who's on the other side? The Texas Longhorns. The Texas Longhorns have not made a national championship since 2006. I don't see Vince Young strapping up his cleats. So I don't see a way that Texas really scores on that Michigan defense. So I'm going with the Michigan Wolverines as your 2024 national champions. Shout out, Gans. That's for you because that's the only championship you're going to get this year because the rest of our teams suck. Except the Rangers.
I mean, what we both said here essentially is that whoever wins the 1 versus 4 game is going to win the national championship. Just saying.
Honestly, I hope Washington wins it all now. That'd be something.
No, I mean,
that'd be something. That'd be something. A Pac-12 team winning the national championship in its final season for the first time since God. What year was it? I think
who was the last one?
I think it was USC.
When was this?
2005. I think.
No, it's got to be later than that.
I'm looking it up.
What year was Mark Sanchez there?
I don't know. Hold on, I'm looking. The most recent team. 2004, Southern California. There was
I
the
was
most
born.
recent.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I was negative 2 years old.
Actually, no, I was
or
that national championship would have been like January, so I was like -5 months old.
Oh no. It was 05 against Texas was 05.
Oh, 7 months old.
Texas was 05, LSU or USC was 04. Right. I remember now. So
essentially I was barely born or not born at all when Texas last won a national championship. Take that how you want.
So that was fun. Thanks so much, hopping on, Robbie. It was an absolute blast. We made it an hour 20. I'm impressed.
That's better than our other ones. Hour 57, hour and a half plus.
I thought we were going to be at 2 hours. Nope. We started off late and we're still done at like 10:30. Oh, by the way, I'm getting an update now from the massacre in Las Vegas. Damn it, the Chargers scored. Damn it.
I told you they were going to score eventually. I said 7.
49-7 Raiders.
All I need is a touchdown and a field goal. I'm going to get that pick right. You better clip that if I say.
I will clip it. That's going to do it for today's episode. I'm JJ's Robbie signing off. Happy holidays. I'll see you back across the yellow brick road. I don't know. Go blue, I guess. Go on.